Good morning. Welcome to Deacon Jody Daily. I'm glad that you're with us today. We continue with the second book of Samuel and Mark. If you are enjoying these videos, once again, please subscribe to the channel, like them, share them. Let's try to get the word out, and I appreciate all of you for the support that you've given this new effort that I'm having to work ministry through technology. So we're in 2 Samuel, and today is the story of the great sin of David. You probably know the story, but I'll give you the quick overview. David's armies go out to battle, and he stays back. And while he's there, being lazy, being bored, he sees this woman, Bathsheba, bathing, and long story short, it's Uriah the Heap's wife, and he has relations with the woman, and she gets pregnant. And then he tries to get Uriah the Heap to come from battle and sleep with his wife to cover it up. And that's not the way it works in those days. When the armies were at war, they have already purified themselves for the battle, and they don't have relations, and so he doesn't go home. And so David is in a pickle, and he winds up calling his general and having Uriah killed. Now, there's some nuances here that are kind of important as it relates to the gospel. The gospel in Mark today is the gospel where Jesus tells two parables. The seed that grows, it's planted and it grows, and the sower doesn't know how it happens. God does it, but it's a slow process. And then it's the mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, that grows big. And the story in the gospel is that things happen slowly over time and add. And that's the story of David's sin. So if the first sin is that the general that he has in charge of his army that has taken his place, basically, because David didn't go, is Joab. And there's a history here where Joab killed somebody and David didn't do anything about it. He let him get away with it. So he surrounded himself with a bad person. That's the first thing. So he trusts his army to a bad person. Then he stays back when he should be out there with them, which is a second misstep. Because when you're not occupied, temptations can come. Now here's the other thing. One of my friends many years ago, a Christian friend, we were at a Bible study, and he was sharing that his pastor had told the congregation on Sunday that when your eyes see something tempting, to look away. And it was in the context of moral things. If you're on the internet and you see a naked woman, don't look at it. If you see a beautiful lady, look the other way. Don't let your eyes tempt you to continue to perpetuate the occasion of sin, I think is what it's called. So what David does is he's on his rooftop, he sees this lady bathing. Instead of looking away, he continues to look. And the more he looks, the more he's enjoying it. And that leads to his desire growing more and more for this woman. And he finally sends for her. We don't know the story from her side. Did she was sent to the king. She goes, did she had to submit to him? We don't know all those parts. We don't know her culpability in it at all. But that's not the point of the parable. The story. The point of the story is David giving in to the sinfulness, and it happens slowly It wasn't just something one day he wakes up and says, go get this beautiful woman and bring it to him. No, he lets himself be lured into the temptation. So just as the seeds start small and take time to grow, so can our sinfulness. And I think the message today is to try to avoid allowing our sinfulness to grow by turning away from the sinfulness, by looking away, by fighting off the devil, saying, get behind me, Satan. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you take over my disposition from one of faithfulness to the Lord to one of sinfulness of the Lord. So today I think our prayer should be that when we are faced with a temptation to quickly turn away and not let it fester into something that it doesn't need to fester into, and in that way we can avoid the near occasion of sin, which is in our Father. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, you pray for me and I'll pray for you. And I'm going to a funeral today. My dad's first cousin, so this was the oldest person in our family, lineage. In his 90s, passed away, and so go down to Metairie for the funeral. So we'll say a prayer for the Ferreira families. Charles Ferreira, my great uncle, who passed away. You pray for me. I'll pray for you. God bless.